Welcome to the Entrepreneurial CPA Show. We take a deep dive in the knowledge needed to break free of the box and become the world-changing entrepreneurs we know you want to be. As always, we're going to hit you up with the theoretical and practical skills you need to punch above your weight. We're here today with one of our special shows, which everyone loves. It's our favorite themed episodes, Tired of Taxes, brought to you by the amazing National Association of Certified Valuators and Analysts, or just NACVA for short. For the past 30 years, they've helped thousands of CPAs, advisors, financial experts, and what have you establish their authority in matters of value and become today's financial super consultants. And that's what it's all about. As we talk about that time and time again, how do we pivot from a compliance world to a consulting world? So in today's show, we ask a very simple question that's very relevant this time of year. Are you tired of taxes? How do you not go through another grind of tax season and find a better career, a better future? And how can you embrace your entrepreneurial side? So today we're joined by Sherry Jordan, President and CEO of Jordan Financial Consulting and Coaching, and Denise French, Senior Financial Advisor of Divorce Strategies Group. Two amazing, remarkable members of the NACVA who understand why we need to stop just feeling tired of taxes. We need to do something about it. Let's learn from their stories of how they got into it. So Sherry, with you, what made you feel like first for you specifically with your tax background that you were tired of taxes and ready to make a change?
I had made a change started with a change in cities, actually. So I started my career with Big Four firms. I started in Pittsburgh in audit, moved to a different Big Four firm, worked in tax compliance in Columbus, Ohio, but then I returned to Erie, Pennsylvania, which is where I was born and raised, and had children, stayed home with children, and just the environment of switching from Big Four to the smaller town, the smaller public accounting firms. I missed the fit and the energy and the travel and just the difference, I guess, between the sizes, and decided to explore a different area. I ended up meeting a partner with a local firm in Erie, Pennsylvania, I have a master's degree in English in addition to being a CPA. And when he found out that I had the master's degree as well as the CPA license, and I wasn't using both, he said, why not try business valuation? Because there's a lot of report writing and business storytelling that happens in business valuation. He thought I might like that. Recruited me into that firm, and I earned my CVA within the first year of being there. So I've been a CVA since 2012.
Wow, that's amazing. And like so many, you kind of wanted something different out of your career and something more exciting.
Yeah.
You wanted that work-life integration balance with the 4 kids you can take care of. And it sounds like from the stories we shared before this, especially, the NACV really helped jumpstart that aspect of your career you're always kind of looking for, but you can never find in the traditional landscape.
I get both benefits from it, both professional and personal satisfaction. So I usually tell people, if I can use my hand motions a little bit, that tax season's kind of like up, and crash.
Yeah.
And business valuation schedule's a little more like this. It's just a little more stable and easier to plan around. So it fits my family lifestyle a lot better. And then for me, I kind of sit right in the middle in terms of the way that I think. So I think pretty well with words. I think pretty well with numbers. And so business valuation is a practice that allows me to do both.
Very nice. And I think while you both had different backgrounds, you both kind of come together in some of the divorce and litigation space. So Denise, for you being the non-accountant on the call, congrats on that. You're probably much better off than us and probably much more exciting. What brought you from your financial advisory background, financial consulting background, into working with the NACVA?
I found that this would be interesting. I thought it would be something that I wanted to do. I do a lot of litigation work, so I work in the divorce space mainly. I think business valuation is a big part of that, where I could be helpful. And so I wanted to, you have to have the certification, I think, to do the work. You have to have some type of certification, or you're not going to meet the standards and you're going to get yourself into quite a pickle. So getting a certification was paramount. And I went to NACVA for that, which I'm glad I did. I found it to be somewhat of a family atmosphere at NACVA, which I really like. There are several people that I have on my speed dial that I can call who don't charge me to talk with me. I've asked many, many questions. I've had even other senior advisors, CBAs, read my first couple of reports, and I find that to be very helpful. It can be quite lonely out here in your own world. I too came from corporate America, from a Fortune 100 financial company, started my own shop. I've been a financial advisor for a long time. So this was just part of it. Now that I work mainly in the divorce space doing analytical work, and I too am good with numbers, but I'm good with words too. So this is a good mix. But what I love about valuation work is it's such a puzzle to put together. It's not just boring numbers on a page. It's a story that you tell. Then you bring in a lot of your opinion, you bring a lot of your background knowledge, and you tell a story within the guidelines of the rules. And here in Houston, what the courts allow and what the courts deem to be normal. So I just love that part of it. And I do really love this organization. I could not have done this without them. I'm getting hired quite a bit and now doing talks all around Texas on business valuation. There's a need for it too. I think people here, I live in the 4th largest city in the country and I work in divorce world. So people pay a lot of money to get divorced here. It's very common to have a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 divorce. But I can come in, make a good living myself, do work at home when I want to be at home instead of at the office like I am today, and fit a real need where people aren't getting just completely having their estates annihilated. So I fit a good purpose. It's fun work with a good organization.
I like that. And it's so important that everyone's looking for a little more purpose-driven what we do. So you're both in the divorce space. And for the accounting professionals, dealing with clients is not always our strength, and dealing with difficult situations is not either. So let me kick it to you first, Sherry. How has the NACVA helped you better deal with those difficult situations?
I guess I would echo what Denise has said, just having the opportunity to have that training and expertise and the confidence that comes with it, everything that they offer, from making sure that you're standards compliant to making sure that you have the resources, just a generous membership in terms of helping me to build my library of resources to refer to, and giving me these contacts and giving me these access at the conferences to the leading thinkers. I mean, business valuation remains, I think, the only really theoretical element still left in accounting today. There's still people thinking all the time about how to do it better and how to really produce the most fine-tuned and precise value that we can for a client. And those people are so accessible to us at the conferences. I hung out with who I call, I like heavy metal music, and so there's a gentleman that I call the James Hetfield of business valuation that I get to refer to from time to time. And all I have to do is pick up the phone, like Denise said, and folks are answering questions and supporting us, and just building our confidence constantly, which I appreciate, and giving us opportunities like this to connect with our markets and let folks know that, we're a valued member of our organization and we're going to serve our clients very well also.
Okay. So Denise, both of you are talking about how important the collaboration aspect is. And what do you think that makes the NACVA so unique, where there is so much collaboration versus, most CPA practitioners don't collaborate with each other around the country? What do you think makes the NACVA so different and so much more beneficial in that regard?
Well, I was impressed right away with the fact that the people who teach the courses and the people who are the leadership, unorganized leadership, if you will, I have available to me on their cell phones, which is invaluable. Especially, I don't work for a big company. I'm out here by myself. So my valuation work that I have was in an old life. And so I was just concerned that things had changed. I want people to look over my work sometimes, especially as I value a different type of business. And I've got that available here. It's just, I cannot say how much I appreciate the people at this organization. And then the conferences, I've only been a CVA now for 1.5 years, but I have a full valuation practice at this point. And it's because I have the confidence to do the work. I've been able to go market my skill set.
So both of you have only been with the NACVA a shorter period of time. What advice, Sherry, we'll start with you, would you have to someone that's going to join the NACVA like this fall? Like they're hearing this, they want to get joined. What advice do you have to them as a newer member to really make the most of it?
to attend the conferences in person when you can and take advantage of the culture. So I think you were hinting at what makes them different, and it is a cultural shift. I'm not sure, I guess, what the source of it is, but I'm a CPA, so I'm a member of other professional organizations. I think this culture in particular is very focused on knowledge sharing, which is a change perhaps from the way that public accounting used to approach the process. It used to be much more of a competitive experience. And so if you had a great template or a great format or some insight knowledge, you wanted to feel proprietary about that. And that culture has changed within the NACVA. I don't know that the NACVA was ever like that. They've always been a knowledge sharing group as long as I've known them. But that's, to me, what is different about them. You go to a course, someone has a great template on business valuation, you're interested in it, they give it to you. It's really that simple. And so get involved. Don't be afraid to ask for mentors. I use this in some of the other programming that I do as well. Talk to folks, ask your questions, go to those conferences, network. They give you many, many opportunities to network and socialize and get to know other business valuators. So, don't go to the conference and hole up in your hotel room. Get downstairs and shake hands and talk to folks, and you will build a network and a support team around yourself that is invaluable.
I love it. Denise, how about you? What's your advice to someone kind of like getting in to start with now?
I would say this, I have the same sentiment as Sherry has. Go to the conference and know that if you are a stereotypical CPA where you're not the best in social environments, that you have 500 other people there who feel the same way. So you're not alone. So just go down, meet people, mingle, get to know them, and definitely go to the conferences. And then there's also a lot of events you can do from the comfort of your home that are still quote unquote live events.
Right.
Do that and get the certification, because then you're following the path that they've laid out through the NACVA.
Right.
Yeah,
I think conferences are the way. I think conferences are the way to go. But I agree. They also make all of their programming very accessible from a webinar format. So it's not a requirement; it's just a recommendation.
Yeah, and that's great. And something you both kind of said that we've talked about before in the show is kind of that pivot from that we're hoarding stuff to a more of an abundance mindset. That if I just help out the people around me, my fellow stakeholders and fellow CPAs or advisors, whatever we are, we're all going to be better together, and we can kind of collaborate together, and we can all be successful versus me trying to hoard everything in.
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap up, Denise, for you, did you have a final pivot or something that made you say, you know what, that's it. It's time I join the NACVA and get the certificate to take my career to that next level? Did you have kind of like a final moment?
Yeah, I knew I needed to get it. So I went through the conference last summer and got it live at the conference, because I also knew that I needed to meet people here and I needed to get to know the people. It's not just about the knowledge, it's about the people who give you those nuances that you really need. So come to the conference would be my final word. And this is a wonderful organization.
Perfect. Come to the conference, there's a big one coming up in December. So now's the perfect time to check it out. One of their big annual conferences. So I'll be there. I think Dr. Shaw may be joining me. So as we wrap up here, Sherry, any final words from you for possible new members or CPAs that are that are tired of taxes and want to do something different?
It's going to change your life, and I'm available and open, as other NACVA members would be, to take emails, to take phone calls, and answer questions and share a little bit more about what's involved in the work. It's a great skill set to develop. It's quite technical. I mean, you do need to learn and study, but at the end, then you'll be one of the specialized few that's able to provide this particular type of service. It's definitely a value add over and above the things that clients are required to have in public accounting, like their tax return.
Perfect. And I want to, as we run out of time, I want to thank you both, Sherry, you, Denise, for joining us today and kind of sharing your story with everyone. And I hope that's inspired the people watching to say, you know what, yeah, I am tired of taxes, and it's possible to have a more rewarding, exciting, entrepreneurial, collaborative career than I have now. And I can help people in a whole variety of ways, no matter where I'm on the East Coast, in Houston, Texas, wherever. So if you're tired of taxes, if you are tired of the grind, tired of going through another busy season, you want to break free of those deadlines, join the thousands of CPAs who specialize in business valuation, just like Sherry and Denise. Transform your financial consulting career with the most widely recognized business valuation credential, the Certified Valuation Analyst, or the CVA, as you've heard both of them mention several times today. To learn more about this, take the plunge, stop being retired of taxes, visit the website listed below, and enter the discount code C3BV. It's their special entrepreneurial CPA show offer. Start your path to becoming a super consultant and have that exciting life and career that Sherry and Denise just talked about. Hopefully you'll do that, and hopefully you'll come to their big annual conference and start this journey for yourself. As always, we challenge you today to take action to change the world and invest in yourself.